very W key style of composition for Niflheim WARGS. We'll see if that can work up against MAMBO to see who's going to take the lead in this set for game number 1 between MAMBO and Niflheim WARGS. Starts off right here and right now. Again, it's J-Mac Niflheim. And gap creation and escape for the Camazotz. But now it's Sap in danger, stunned out twice in the mid lane, but gets the Sentinel away just in time. And now a pull back in from Kha'Zix. Johnny goes back in, Bat out of Hell available, and will use it to try and dive that tower. One more swoop will do. And it's first blood for MAMBO. And with Worst Turtle just off the mark with that Cobra's Kiss.
Kha'Zix just standing by, not much he could do.
Dump at his teammate at that point. Now walking up to prevent what could have been a Fury pull. It's an ultimate from Sap, and that's going to slam through. I'm a Monster. Gets the reset that he's looking for, but Kha'Zix doesn't have any follow-up pushing up to this purple just yet. Spudio now joins the fray. Throws out the Acid Rain. Ultimate for Kha'Zix pulls 2, but it's into the bomb damage in return. Hawk is firing right back, and nowhere for Kha'Zix to go as he's trapped inside the Sanctified Field in a 1-for-1 trade.
My heart goes out to Kha'Zix because everything looks good execution-wise. Lands the stun, finds the pull.
Now just a little too far away for MAMBO to keep going towards. And so now, a big group up on the left-hand side. Niflheim WARGS setting up aggressively to try and find a pick on Kha'Zix or to Sap. Ultimate does hit worse from Worst Turtle onto Sap, but ultimate from Kha'Zix is good. Will land down in place. I'm a Monster. Just a little late for the kill, but Johnny's got that anyways. MAMBO now at their third of the game.
Hawk needs to figure out the timing. Are able to confirm themselves the objective. Julio just too tanky to work through and so threatening with that pull that no one wants to step up.
Kha'Zix goes to the ultimate. Doesn't find anybody this time, but nearly locks in Davey. I'm a Monster just off the mark from Sap this time. The Sanctified Field defensively for Davey. Gives his team an out, but it doesn't help out Preds very much, even with the slows from everything else. The ultimate too late to pop, and instead it's his life bar depleted. Spudio comes up with the kill.
Yeah, I like the idea. Hold the ultimate further so that he can jump onto his clear target with no opportunities arising for either. There'll be a staring contest in the center of the map. Do you want to go back to base? Do you want to spend your gold? What is it? It's going to be initiation.
Worst Turtle wants to start the fight with Kha'Zix. He'll swing back right into a Sanctified Field. Kha'Zix the first casualty of the fight. And a boulder thrown by Julio is not going to get as much value. Sap 7 on the run from the Sun Wukong. Panvitz chasing him under that tower. It's the clone keeping them distracted. The Niflheim WARGS come up with the only kill of the fight and beeline it towards the Fire Giant.
Yeah, Kha'Zix incredibly tanky, but not tanky enough to deal with all 5 members of the WARGS staring at him with time dilated at the same time. The WARGS, with their first opportunity of the game, immediately pull a Fire Giant.
Julio, though, wrapping around the backside of the pit. I'm not sure any of the WARGS have spotted this one out. He's just going to leisurely soar right through the pit and push 2 immediately into the damage. Sap 7 not quite with the kill. Davey nearly down, but one's traded out. As Johnny goes down, Kha'Zix still on respawn. Sap 7 only barely alive, but Panvitz knocks him away. Tiger Sun lands onto Julio, but the Panvitz gets slowed down by the Midgardian male. It's Spudio, who will have to fight up against potentially 3. Gets slammed by the damage of Hawk. Jukes out the damage from Preds, but is still fighting back. Missed the Acid Rain. One more auto. The dot from it. No, it'll need to be an ultimate to secure the kill.
Can now Spudio make it out alive. Hawk's on the chase. Hover near a wall is dangerous, but Kha'Zix on respawn. We join his team soon. Stun connects. Damage.
Gold still for MAMBO. Though as we start approaching the late game, that gold meaning less and less for these two teams. Worst Turtle way too far forward. Johnny, credit for the kill, but the whole team joining in to collapse in on the Circuit.
Circuit ultimate's your initiation. Pred's ultimate's your confirmation. And Davey's ultimate is your team fight. The Niflheim WARGS have no leg in this race.
Oh no, now they don't even have Preds. He walks up, gets picked up by Julio, and thrown right back to the rest of MAMBO. Fire Giant now, half HP. Davey is on his way, but he doesn't have ultimate. Hawk has got a couple of bombs available to him. Pull from Kha'Zix, blocks off one escape path for Davey, but Kha'Zix taking a lot of damage to the Fire Giant. He's got to back out. Fight to break out inside the pit, or a fight that will happen just outside of it once more. Reset by MAMBO, but it's Julio by himself.
Sheesh.
The man who's normally so difficult to kill. The Niflheim WARGS make it look easy, and maybe a pick on a Spudio to follow after, but no, it's Sap 7's combo that not only saves Spudio's life, but can now reset for a pick on a Davey. I'm a Monster. connects with the carry, and now it's Preds in danger. He's slammed by one. Who cares about his shield? Who cares about your health bar? It is all SAP7. Double kill for the mid laner.
Man, when these teams see their opportunities to strike, they take it quickly. The entirety of the Niflheim Wargs drop their entire kits into Julio. Congratulations, he's dead, but at what cost? You lose out on the dual lane. Support and ADC. What was a Fire Giant defense previously, now much harder to do.
Fire Giant still under fire from the Hex Mambo. Who's going to secure it? It hasn't been reset just yet. Johnny will go ahead and grab that, but Spudio's lost his life for it. And now Kha'Zix could lose it out as a double taunt in by Worst Turtle. Gets the ultimate on a SAP7 and thrown back to Panvitz. Now it's a double for the solo laner, but Johnny at least takes one for the tribulations of his team, I should say.
So
Hex Mambo.
maybe an avant-garde build here from Worst Turtle. Should be able to match some of that sustain, though, if you're worried about wars of attrition. If you want to fight against Johnny, Bomb His Hammer is one way to do it.
Oh, Julio thrown into the Sanctified Field. There's nowhere for him to go. That's an easy way to find a kill on the Hercules, but look at Johnny chasing down Panvitch, sustaining through any bit of damage thrown his way, but he misses out on the bats. He's silenced out. He can't even get to the sky. The CC combo too much. But unfortunately, for Niflheim Wargs, they trade out Worst Turtle to get that pick. Tries to take down Kha'Zix, but turned around. And now Preds, can he find the Spirit Ball on the sap? He does. Fire Giant, that's helping the Wargs do exactly what they want to do. Go for fire. But now it's Sanctified Field. The boulder rolls through. And ultimate from Preds, gonna make this hard to steal away. The Niflheim Wargs confirm fire, but can they get out of the fight? Panvitch makes it up into the sky in time, but are all of his options now cut off? As soon as he lands, doesn't get the root. Slow is there from Johnny as soon as the bird fades away, but Panvitch may just be out of this final as Kha'Zix is willing to commit an ultimate to go for this one. Might not need it. Slow plus a hook will knock him down.
Julio on the other side, distracting Niflheim Wargs' four-man core. That's Dash from Agni, and Kha'Zix is nearby.
Kha'Zix tries to go for the ultimate. Hawk's got the beads timing this time. Not going to be yanked back by the Maui, but it's still Hex Mambo in the driver's seat as they push into the Phoenix. Julio soaking up a couple of shots, walks right back in, but misses the knock-up after. Everybody's starting to take some poke on the side of Hex Mambo. But remember, it's Niflheim Wargs who just got fired on the map at this point in the game. So we approach 44 minutes. Preds will drop an ultimate in the middle of the Phoenix. Pull from Kha'Zix doesn't come up with anything this time through. Phoenix still stands for only a moment. And now it's a chase in by Kha'Zix. He finds the stun onto Preds. I'm a monster. Doesn't do quite enough damage for the reset. And Johnny will chase out, but he doesn't find the kill. Instead, it's Davey taking down Julio, and Johnny on the run. Spudio in the sky gets some return fire back to the Wargs. But the Wargs are healthy enough they can potentially just reset for this Phoenix once more.
Man, the tanks on the Wargs are doing so much. They're just
avert the attention at least from Julio for the time being. Like I said, though, with teleport, he'll be able to jump back in, but is that time enough? Kha'Zix CC chained. I'm a monster. Slams through Davey. Only a quarter HP. Johnny wants to try and take the last sliver of it, but he's forced away. It's another ultimate from Davey defensively to keep them alive. Now Worst Turtle nearly taken down between
Julio.
bats and everything else. Julio joins in. Knock up. Boulder takes him down. Julio still continues to chase. He's not done just yet. Davey now doesn't have any relics of his own, and that could be the call for Julio and Johnny to keep up their chase. Spirit Ball from Preds will keep them alive, but it's a knock-up just to keep the fight going. But Hawk expends his bombs trying to go for Sap and Johnny, and it's a collapse in for Hex Mambo. Julio is soaking up everything just to keep the chase going. He's found Panvitch, but that might be the worst target to grab because of how tanky he is.
He also grabbed Hawk there, but Hawk heads up on the beads. Make sure that push doesn't fully channel. He keeps himself alive. Gotta give credit
by himself, taunts back in by Worst Turtle. A couple of bombs and a Spirit Ball is doing some good damage to him. He tries to dash out, does find Worst Turtle, and SAP7 goes to the I'm a monster. It only is going to hit Preds and basically just tickles the E-set at this point. In the sky is Spudio. A lot of return fire through. Boulder as well, but it's all returned back at Kha'Zix. He swings out as far as he can go. And Sap, he's got to go back to base. Kha'Zix, he's on the run, and Johnny is sent back to base. 75 seconds on respawn.
I think that is perfect evidence for Hex Mambo and the keystone of their team fight. If I'm a monster isn't hitting someone of priority, it's just not going to look good. Connects with Preds there. You said it tickled him. It just broke the HP shield. That's literally it. That was silence for ultimate out of the mid laner. It gets off of Hawk as SAP7 connects Crush there. And Fire Giant reset.
Sap trying to run away, but he's walked right into Worst, so finds the root, finds the crush, a lot of damage back, but it's an ultimate on top of Sap 7. He tries to run as fast as he can, but there's too many abilities to try and dodge. Davey takes him down. Julio goes in to try and find the kill. Kazik swings only for a stun on the 1, while Panvich is keeping Spudio busy. There's just not enough follow-up now for Hex Mambo. They're forced out of this fight, but so are the Wargs, half health or lower on 4 different players.
Let's rewind to the previous skirmish, J-Mac. I saw a Maui ultimate connect with an Ola run, and there just was not enough follow-up. You have to be able to make use of those massive opportunities. The fact that Davey still sits at 7-2-2, 9 out of 12 affected kills, only 2 deaths, nearly at the bottom of the charts as far as deaths are concerned. Panvich, the only one on his team beating him out, and that's Sun Wukong. So we'll put an asterisk next to it. Just crazy. Davey's position.
I don't think any of the Wargs realize just how far back Johnny is. Davey is peeking through the jungle. Liani gets picked up. Hawk still able to get away. Has his relics. He said ultimate down the back line. Johnny wants his kill on Davey, but the heal is just enough. Jumps on top. Gets the heal. But it's 1-for-1 straight. Now Hawk's in danger. Both of his relics are down, and he's being chased out by the tanks. Julio's just going to W key at him, and one more swing will take out the mid. And now Panvich in the middle of 3. He's got an ultimate to keep himself alive. But now it's a 2-for-2 trade with Niflheim Wargs pushing right back in. Preds, Warsaw, and Panvich still charging forward.
But the Wargs don't have any damage dealers left. Those are 3 tanks that still draw breath. Should be able to knock down this mid Phoenix, but I don't think you can kill the Titan without any of your damage.
And I think that may have just been spotted out by Hex Mama. They see Panvich nearby. Can Panvich keep the crowd busy? Will Johnny be able to get out? He gets into the sky in time. But Kaziks will at least take away the ball from Worst Turtle, who throws an ultimate onto Julio. Julio finds a triple push and a triple boulder, but all the fires are turned right back at him with a sanctified field. There's nowhere to go. Kaziks, he's all by himself in the back line. He's trying to swing away from 4. Spirit Ball won't connect. Ultimate will only pull back 1. Spudio's being dealt with by Panvich, and Sap is gone. Hawk gets 1 kill. Kaziks tries to swing away, but Davey and Preds can just chase him out while Worst Turtle deals with Spudio. Hawk walking forward with his jungler, and that pushes 2 away.
Can the Niflheim Wargs go for an end attempt here? Preds will distract Kaziks. There's no world where Kaziks can make it back to base. Only way he goes back is dead. Or by walking the old-fashioned way. Might have enough HP to do that. That's a lot of time spent and would be walking into the members of the Wargs who are starting to move themselves forward.
4 versus 2. Johnny and Spuddy have got to put up a hell of a defense here. No ultimate from Davey, but all bombs for Hawk. Panvich walks forward. Worstall goes in with the ultimate. Spudio, he's got no relics, no resources left, and no life bar. But Johnny turns around and takes out 1, tries to swing back in. But with Circle of Protection, it might just be a little too much. Johnny takes down 2. Panvich takes out Kaziks. And the Niflheim Wargs, in 58.5 minutes, grab game number 1.
That is a true and true Cinderella story that I'm sure 30 damage ticks. They don't really do anything.
We'll see if Hex Mambo can bounce back in game number 2, tie up the set, and take us to game 3, or the Wargs going to sweep right through with a 2-0. Let's jump right in to game number 2 between Hex Mambo and Niflheim Wargs. It's J-Mac Mifflin and Doug back once more. Bring the action between our
top. You have to stick in close if you want to apply your damage consistently, like in ice stance or in fire stance. Might just lose your life here.
Ultimate from Worst Turtle, a little bit of fire after, and Worst Turtle will get first blood, but trade out his life immediately after to Sap 7. A nice easy combo from Hawk to set things up.
Damage item in first 3. For the first 3 items, you're essentially going to have at least 80%, maybe 90% damage threshold on these squishier targets. Johnny up to the air, does connect with Worst Turtle, and he is just eviscerated immediately. Johnny loses out on the beads, though, to confirm that kill. Hawk stun. Enough to get that. As the rest of the Wargs start to work themselves right. I don't think Johnny has any idea that they're behind him.
Well, Johnny thrown back by an ultimate, and not even a boulder from Julio is going to stop the Wargs from chasing forward. A lot of commitment from Johnny to try and get in there, but nothing left to get out of the fight. Niflheim Wargs will clinch their second kill of the game.
Looks like it.
So a little bit more CDR for everybody, good amount of healing and mana sustain. We'll see if it helps out here, though, as Johnny has made his way back. Worst Turtle dropped low.
He needs a little bit more, but Panvich is there to body block. One more shot from Panvich to Johnny would get the kill, but instead it's Julio who picks off Hawk in the pack line. There was no peel for the mid laner of the Niflheim Wargs, and Julio
forever
makes it look
between our gaps to talk about beaking because they happen so fast. They're usually done by about 25, 26 minutes, and then
We get games that go as long as last time. Makes it that much easier for Niflheim Wargs. They find a pick on a Julio. That gets them set up for this first beacon, but it's still some time before that one spawns back in. Julio does have a full teleport available to him, so he can join the fray whenever need be.
Man, Panvich has just got the ugliest build I've ever seen. Old Fury for Hex Mambo if they have their way. Panvich already made the rotation.
Half HP. He said ultimate down. They're just going to take this one away. It's all for Niflheim Wargs. Said thanks for doing the hard work, Hex Mambo. And maybe we can find a pick as well. Niflheim Wargs chasing out Sap 7, gets the taunt, gets the dash after. Aegis eats up some of the damage, but the ultimate throws him right back into the waiting arms of the Wargs. They get a pick on a Sap 7. And now for the immediate retreat call, Fury +1. And even with a dunk in by Johnny, Hex Mambo got nothing. Have done a whole lot through this early game as far as putting pressure around this beacon. Set to respawn here in just a second. Worst Turtle first on the scene for his team, but first one out as well. Half HP nearly on the Circat. That silence up from Preds, the shields it's provided to his team, is allowing them to keep in this fight. Julio may have stepped too far forward. Ultimate gets the beads away from him, but it's the beacon pressure for Hex Mambo. Davies a little bit late on his rotation. Spudio's already here on the scene, and ultimate from Panvich to try and scare Hex Mambo back, and they may just do that with Julio so low. They're lacking a little bit of that front line to stick around.
Yeah, Panvich doesn't have too much more time left on this Descent of Madness as Preds completely isolated. Circle protection, is it enough?
He's gonna get some heal back. It's just enough to stay alive. The acid rain and the death from above. Spudio gets one pick for himself, but Worst Turtle's gonna try and chain this one back. Julio sent through the realms and right into the tower, but Hawk is traded out. It's a double kill for Spudio, and now Davey forced the Aegis away. Worst Turtle, he's gonna keep it going. Double taunt in and some big damage. Take down Kazik before he trades his life with Johnny, who picks up the third kill of the fight for Hex Mambo.
Not a great trade there for Worst Turtle. Support for himself. Kazak's, I'm sure, happy to take that one, especially considering the bounty that was on Worst Turtle at that point.
Two for Mambo, one for Wargs, and Titans will surge up the left side of the map. We've been seeing a lot of mid-Titans over the course of this weekend.
He's squishy.
But the unfortunate trade-off for Johnny, you build a whole lot of damage, you don't got much for defense, and he experiences that firsthand with no beads. One stun is all that's needed for Wargs to knock him down.
As well. Pulled out and dropped low. Should be traded out on the other side. Pyromancer confirmed by Hex Mambo as the Wargs knock down the Fury.
Wargs still going to try and fight back. Sap 7 will flicker away, use the fire, but Worst Turtle catches him out, throws him back, but that shield from Kazik is providing so much for Sap all throughout this fight. Now it's Worst Turtle in danger. He's got to jump away. Is there enough peel from Panvich? It's a good knock-up. But Worst Turtle, does he have the cooldowns to get away?
No!
Oh, no, he walks into it, Julio. He lands the baseball, and that's a kill for Hex Mambo. The jungler for the Wargs down, and maybe a little bit more. Panvich stunned out by Kha'Zix, but not by Kha'Zix and Spudio. But now it's potential to have to turn around and maybe walk out. For Worst Turtle, that is. He gets hit by the combo of Spudio. Now Panvich in the middle of 3 gets up into the ultimate just in time, but death from above is melting through this Cthulhu's health bar. Not quite enough. Panvich heals, but Johnny's dunk is enough damage to knock him down. Now it's a 5v4 in the fight, and Julio is going to fight 2 by himself. Sap standing by near to give him some support as Worst Turtle then turns his sides towards the mid laner, but Sap 7 is doing way more damage than Worst Turtle is. Julio's going to try to keep this going. Boulder blocks out Davey, but he gets a Bifrost out. Kha'Zix tries to jump back in, but it's just not enough. Davey hit by Julio, who feels like he's doing just about everything, and so is Hawk in return. Takes down Sap 7.
Julio still moving forward, but Hawk's got damage, and Kha'Zix is real low here. Even Johnny would fall down to a stun, just able to hammer himself out.
Spudio beads, wall from Johnny, blocks off Preds and Hawk, but it's also blocked off Julio, who's still fighting in all of this. He has been the beginning of the fight and might just be the end of it. Worst Turtle jumps in, picked up by Julio, shoved against the wall, and this fight's gone on for so long that Spudio's got ultimate again. He turns around and takes down Worst Turtle, but unfortunately for support,
Johnny.
His life goes out. Johnny dunks in for a second time this fight, but Hawk is able to beads and Aegis and return all of this damage back. Dashes away from Julio, firing so much damage through. Miff, how long is this fight going to go?
Longer. Julio on the retreat. Silence. Good show of how much DR we've got in play
behind the pit, keeping the Niflheim Wargs guessing at where they might be.
Behind Wargs starting to move themselves forward. Make contact with Julio first. That's a lot of resources used.
And not going to get a kill this time. Julio able to walk out once more. Preds and Davey take a bit of damage in the back line. Panvich walks up. We saw it happen to him last time that he went into this ultimate. He got shredded through by Spudio, but this time Spudio's not even paying attention to Panvich. He's just going to throw out some CC. Panvich and the Wargs will be fine for now, but Kozik's not going to go chase. Julio is back once more and is rushing through the back line. Finds the knockup, but doesn't get any follow-up after. Kozik's trying to run through. Boulder gets a little bit of damage onto some of these backliners. Pred shoved against the wall. The damage from the Merlin, not enough. A quick shell will keep him alive, but Spudio instead is taken down. Hawk is doing all the work, all the damage. Dash
You're
in.
dead.
Aegis isn't going to be enough. It's another one for Hawk as he drops down the mid laner, but Johnny will, as the well, dunk down in, takes out the mid. It's 2 for 2, nearly 3 if Johnny can find this hammer, but he's just too far out.
Man, Hawk does so much in that fight once more. Finally, for a moment, decides maybe for the first time in the last 15 or so minutes, the game state changes a bit as the Tier 1 tower is knocked down in mid, the Niflheim Wargs. Remove a bash and a safety, if you could call it that. Sap 7. Drop down to half once more. That poke is just crazy.
Said ultimate. Hawk's able to get back in. Boulder's got to be needed, but doesn't get the pop in time. He's dropped before anything, and Johnny dunks in. Gets beads away from Davey. A Spirit Ball does connect on top. And Pred's going through. Where's Wursarl doing this tire fight? Will be started by Kozik's. Quick transform into the dragon form.
This is dangerous.
And now it's Pred's walking up. Hawk is back. It'll take him a moment to get himself back into the fight, but
Sap's too low.
With Panvit standing by, with Sap at half HP, Niflheim Wargs might be able to try and fight this one back. Johnny goes up into the sky. It's a dunk down on Davey. He's got no relics, but he's got a lot of protection from his support. Keeps him alive, and now it's Johnny who is low. The Wargs are pushing back in. Panvich goes up into the sky for the ultimate, finds a knockup on the tube, and Hawk tries to get some extra damage, but he's taking a lot in this fight. Niflheim Wargs, they get their one pick, and now it's time to reset.
He throws him anywhere within range of Hawk.
Talk about Wursarl's juke, too, on the ultimate from Thor. I mean, just perfect.
Great play by them, and maybe needs that again. Sap 7, he's got no relics, he's got no life. Wursarl starts it up with Panvich to take him down, but look at Preds in the backline. Wursarl's got to jump away. Johnny dunks down, but Spudio takes out Wursarl before it's even needed. Panvich still fighting to keep his team alive. Davey just got his speeds up, and they're already back on cooldown. But now Julio's got nothing left in the tank.
That guy could
it's a
die.
dive in by Hawk. He takes down one. The bomb just off the mark from Kozik's, and Hawk goes down yet again. Stun on top of Johnny from Preds. But look at the return fire from Spudio. There's just too much damage coming from this Martseeker.
Time to think about it. This Fire Giant, its HP's not moving.
It's taking a little too long for Hex Mambo. It's given Wargs enough time to reset. Wursarl jumps into the back line. He finds Sap 7, throws it back. The explosion from the Pridwin. Sap 7's already at half, and Spudio's in the air. Fire Giant gets picked up by the Niflheim Wargs instead. Wursarl may have just traded his life for a Fire Giant for the rest of the squad. 78 seconds till he is back, but the Wargs are already on the full retreat.
They're so far away. I don't think Hex Mambo could catch them. And if they try, they might walk into a wall of damage. Hawk doing so much for his team. Have Hex Mambo stuck around too long.
He's going back. Panvich, he's got the ultimate, finds the knockup on nobody this time. A quick flicker
Watch
out
Johnny.
for Johnny to the sky. He's got to find Hawk. He's got to take out the worst threat against him, but Beads and Aegis are there. A dash out. Johnny forced away from the fight. The Wargs live through. And Hex Mambo may just be worse for wear. Double bomb on top of Julio. He's gone. Sap 7 tries to fight back, but Hawk does so much damage on this Agni. If he gets one combo,
he's doing it.
A dash in, the stun is good, but a bomb, the stun actually procs the heroism once more, and it's the only thing that saves Sap.
Heroism looking like a great investment there for Hex Mambo.
Mambo spent so much time trying to maybe poke this one out, steal it. I don't think they noticed that Wursarl is right back in. Taunt connects to Spudio. Spudio, beads are gone. Aegis not needed yet. He goes up for the ultimate instead, but Wursarl is not done. He blinks forward. He's just waiting to close gap for the ultimate onto Spudio. He'll find him, throws him back in. Sap's gone. Spudio's gone. It's a double kill for Davey. The Boulder will not find anything. It's a triple kill for Davey. It is only the front line left for Hex Mambo. Julio finds one. Hawk, the biggest threat, is gone, but you still got the rest of the damage coming from Davey and the company. Davey gets his quadra kill. It's only Kozik's left. Niflheim Wargs, after 50 minutes of waiting, 50 minutes needing an opportunity. They get their push at Fire. They get it at the Fury. And unless Cosington find the miracle defense, they will win out your EU SCC gauntlet.
It has taken 112 in-game minutes to do it, but only 2 games in this best-of-3 set for the Niflheim Wargs to come out on top, dethroning the European SCC top seed and securing themselves a position moving forward. Clean play to the Wargs, clean European distinct play style here, all battling over neutral objectives, small micro wins separating these engagements. But at the end of the day, it's the Wargs and Davey that gets it done.
Davey was 0